All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Caroline Horn. I'm the Associate Director for Orientation and Student Onboarding here at Bentley. We are so excited to welcome you all to our Academics at Bentley Falcon Live Chat. This is a series of Falcon Live Chats that we'll offer throughout the entire summer. If you are able to attend them, that's great. We also do record all of them, so you are able to access the content on our YouTube channel. This is a webinar format, so if you have any questions throughout the entire presentation, feel free to put those into the Q&A, and we will answer those questions at the end of the session. But I'm going to hand it over to our academic services team now, and they are going to start the presentation. Hi, everyone. Welcome. So welcome to the Falcon Chat supporting your students' academic experience. My name is Megan Charbonneau. I'm one of the assistant directors for undergraduate advising in academic services. I've been at Bentley almost 15 years, and I really enjoy working with all of our students and over the summer working with onboarding all of our new students. I'm going to hand it over to my colleague Mel to introduce herself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mel Smith. I am an undergraduate academic advisor, and I've been in this position at Bentley for 2 years now. I'm very excited to welcome all of our new Falcons to campus.
All right, so we do have a brief agenda today. We'll start off with talking about our office and all of the different support services that exist in academic services. We will then jump into how to prepare for registration, how you can best support your student. We'll talk specifically about the day of registration and what to expect. We'll then talk about, what happens next after you register for your courses, and then finally arriving to campus. So we'll start off with what is academic services? What is our office function? How do we support students? So academic services encompasses all of the undergraduate academic advising and the academic support. So undergraduate academic advising is made up of both professional and peer advisors. And then our academic support structure is made up of our tutoring program, our student success coaching, and our disability services. We'll talk a little bit more about those in a little bit. So how is academic services supporting your students once they get to Bentley? So for undergraduate advising, professional and peer advisors can help students proactively and also reactively. So of course, figuring out what you want your major and minor to be, figuring out how to navigate the campus, checking in with academics. If students begin to struggle in classes, we want to help them. We want to help support them through those struggles. And we also have some programming that we do throughout the year. We have a monthly newsletter. We will partner with other offices and, specific programs for specific student groups that might have a specific need. And then for academic support, we can support students with all types of different areas, from study skills to time management and organization. It's a really big one, right? And then, again, if students begin to struggle in courses, what does the support look like? What types of learning labs might be best for your student? What types of one-on-one or small group support might be best for your student? And there are several different large scale presentations that the tutoring groups will do, to help students prepare for midterms or finals in specific subject areas. So really very comprehensive support throughout their first year and every other year they, spend with us at Bentley. So how should students be connecting with us in their first term at Bentley? So students will have an assigned academic advisor once they arrive to campus. So we have an online appointment system, and students can make 30-minute appointments as they need support. We also have drop-in advising every weekday, 11 to 3. So students can think, oh, I just have this quick question. I want to stop by really quick, get a quick answer. And those drop-in appointments are staffed by our highly trained student peer advising staff. So coming to our peer advisors is a really great way to kind of say like, oh, well, how did you do this? If I have an idea of how you moved through this challenge or how you moved through this particular course, maybe I can have a better idea of how to do it for myself. So having students have the ability to just drop in and ask questions about policy procedure, but also get a student view on something can be, a huge benefit to the students. And of course, we also have email. Students can email us. I find these days we're doing a lot of emailing. Students do really enjoy being able to reach out via email, ask a question, and within like 2 business days, get a response to that question. So those are all the ways we look forward to supporting your students in the fall term. And then, through academic support services, there is an assistant dean for academic support. So if a student is having trouble navigating and not sure where to go, that could be a resource they use if, they haven't been able to connect, any other way. With disability services, that's definitely something we wanted to bring up now because over the summer is a great time to connect with that office. So if your student is coming from high school where they had like a 504 plan or an IEP individualized education plan, they should absolutely connect with disability services to learn about how they might be able to receive similar supports in college. It is very different. So connecting over the summer to learn about what types of documentation need to be submitted and reviewed prior to students getting some academic accommodations that can be done this summer. So I'm purposely talking really long right now, so you can maybe take a photo of the slide. I know it's going to be available later, if you want to rewatch it. But yeah, if you want to reach out to disability services, you can reach out either to the director or the associate director. You're not seeing things; they are both Stephanie. Um, so just take a photo of those of that if you want to be able to email them really quickly today. But they are available all summer to answer questions about the process and help you and your student become comfortable with what it might be like at college compared to what it was like in high school. Um, and then, of course, we do have a tutoring program. There really wouldn't be any outreach to do this summer about tutoring. Tutoring doesn't begin until classes begin, but the director of our tutoring program is Amy Weber. So just to dive a little bit deeper into what our advising model is, in the first year, every single student is assigned an advisor. Both first year students and transfer students get an assigned academic advisor. So for first year students, their professional academic advisor is assigned to them once they arrive to campus. But they also have very intentional support through the Falcon Discovery Seminar. That is a course that is 3 credits. So it's one of their mandatory fall courses that they will take. And in taking that course, they get a peer leader that is attached to that course. That basically the peer leader's job is to help them transition, answer all of their questions on a peer level, and they're very highly trained in how to help guide students through their first semester at Bentley. So they have direct access to that person once a week. The peer leader is in the class with them. And then of course, all faculty and staff, that a student interacts with in their first year, 100%, everyone is here to help your student, but there are certainly defined people throughout the community that it's their specific role to help support the student in their first semester and first year. As first year students transition into their second, third, fourth year, they will still have that assigned academic advisor, but there's no longer, a specific course with a peer leader attached to it anymore. So students will always have an academic advisor. And then to go back to the transfer student model, so our transfer students, when they start at Bentley in their first semester, they don't take the Falcon Discovery Seminar. That is specifically designed for first year students who have never attended college. So we do something different with our transfer students. We teach a transfer seminar that is taught by their academic advisor. So for the first 6 weeks of the semester, they get 1 day a week where they're in a classroom with their academic advisor and they can ask any questions that they have. And we take them through a very intentional, curriculum to help them adjust to Bentley. We know they know how to do college. They did it very well wherever they came from. But how to adjust to Bentley and make sure they can be just as successful at Bentley as they were somewhere else. So along with that staff instructor who is their academic advisor their entire time at Bentley, we also have a student leader that was and is a transfer student. So someone that has that lived experience, because transferring is different and it's hard, right? So we want to have as much comprehensive support as possible, but it's just the first 6 weeks of the term, and then we let them fly. We let them spread their falcon wings and fly. So yeah, it's different support tailored to what each population needs, and we feel that it's best delivered that way, and we're very proud of how successful both seminar programs are. All right, so we're going to shift our focus to preparing for registration, and there is shockingly little to do right now. So your students have lots of different materials available to them right now, and there's lots of different things they're supposed to be doing right now. Registration activity is not among those things right now. So all of your students should be looking at the new Falcon Experience webpage that they have access to. The important things to do now in June to be prepared to register in July would be to make sure that critical reading and writing essay is completed and the math selection survey. Those two things will help us guide students in how to choose the proper first year courses, first semester courses, really. So that survey and that essay are very important to be completed in the month of June. And then this next bullet, so super important. I'm sure you've heard this 37 times already, but here's the 38th time. All of your students' prior credit that they will be bringing with them, whether it's AP credit, IB credit, transfer credit from another school, the German arbiter, the French baccalaureate, there's lots of different types of prior credit exams and prior credit that Bentley will accept. Even if you're not sure, you're like, oh, I have this different kind of credit. I'm not sure if Bentley would accept that. Send it in. They will review it, right? And we want the students to have whatever credit that they have earned, throughout high school that would be appropriate to apply to their Bentley degree. So even if you're not sure, if you and your student aren't sure that the credit they've completed, throughout high school prior to starting Bentley, if you're not sure, Bentley will review it for you and they'll tell you. So please, all of that credit goes to undergraduate admission. And doing that this month is very important. If, we know AP scores don't get released until a certain time in July, make sure you've done everything that you can do ahead of time to make sure when those scores are released, they come right to Bentley. You can pre-order those things. So absolutely do that. If you have any questions about that, undergraduate admission would be most appropriate to answer. But it's very important, for our part of the process that this is as settled as it can be before we start to help the students register. Okay, and then this is definitely something else, again, that your students and you have probably heard already, but it's always a good reminder. Most Bentley offices are using just the Bentley email address. So some offices will use both because we know students are transitioning, right? They're transitioning from their high school email address, their prior college email address, or maybe a personal email address to their Bentley. So it's best if they complete that transition as quick as they can over the summer and just get very used to, if this is Bentley business, I'm going to use my Bentley email. That way we can assure and you can assure they're not missing anything. They're getting everything they need to get and they're reviewing it, in a timely manner. Um, and then this is where we'll start to talk about how we have lots of support and lots of information to share with students about registration. We very intentionally are not sharing it yet. So we will have videos, small digestible videos for every part of the process that students need to be able to register. We will post those on the new student advising and registration information webpage in July. Okay. So this is a snapshot of what it will look like. Check out that hug right on that last picture. Oh, that's a good looking goodbye hug. Um, so we will tailor the information in July. The information will be tailored for the population. So if you're a first year student, you will click I am a first year student. If you're a transfer student, you will click I am a transfer student. If you're a parent, a family member, you will click I am a family member of a student. And the information will really be tailored to those populations. Um, and again, there are lots of things students need to be doing in June. Some of you are still going to school, right? Some of you haven't graduated from high school yet. Um, so we want you to be able to focus on all of those things, and there's many other things in your checklist that you need to be doing. Um, and also, registration shouldn't take 6 weeks, right? So we have designed the information to be very easy and digestible. We will post the information right after the 4th of July holiday. So we're calling this mid-July. It's going to be a little earlier than mid-July, but students will have almost 3 weeks to consume the information about registration, to practice using the technology. We will have drop-in advising sessions. I might be getting ahead of myself, am I, Mel? Yeah. Uh, so we'll have lots of good support available for your students. And again, we will be available via Zoom um, multiple times in the week before registration. Um, so lots of information coming, and there really isn't anything you need to be doing now apart from everything in your checklist. Um, and then just a few notes to kind of keep in mind. And we think these are things we will tell your students, but we want family support too with some of these notes. Um, we don't want anyone to fall in love with a specific course, a specific schedule. There's over 1,000 students registering. And there's only so many seats in every class. Everyone has access to registration at that same time. So it's best to be as flexible as possible in advance and not get your heart set on something. Um, Also, lots of students might want opinions about professors or opinions about, what what professor might be a good fit for them. We don't encourage the use of those tools, in this space for the reasons I sort of just alluded to. There's just not a lot of the more flexible our students can be, the happier they're going to end up being with their schedule. Um, and then again, with the scheduling, sometimes students might have in their heads, if they have older siblings that have gone to college, like, oh, I want a day off, or I don't want class in the morning. Um, as a first year student in their first semester, or as a first semester transfer student, you often can't avoid early mornings or Fridays. We only have so many seats available, and the flexibility that exists might not be conducive to getting a whole day off or avoiding a specific time of day. Um, so really being, if you're, in the supportive family member role, reinforcing these types of messages, I think will help your student be more calm throughout the process. And the more flexible they can be, I think the happier they will end up being.
Okay, thanks, Megan. So now, everybody, we are going to continue our talk about registration and actually talk about the day of and what your student will be experiencing and going through. So this next slide has a lot of words. Megan suggested this earlier for a previous slide of taking a photo of it. I love that idea. This information, this will not be the first and only time that you and or your student will be receiving this information. So I know this might be a lot to process. Don't worry, they will be getting numerous emails as well as some other methods of communication with this information. So we have two registration dates. One is Monday, July 29th. That will be our incoming transfer student registration. And then 2 days later, on Wednesday, July 31st, will be incoming first year students. So the day flow on both of these is going to be very similar. So before 10 a.m., students should be checking internet connection, making sure they have a saved schedule, and that they just have any resources or support documents available. What we mean by support documents is that website that we keep talking about where we're going to post all of our videos. There's always a helpful step-by-step checklist that we post on there for students as well. So having those things maybe in a tab on a browser, or if you're someone who has multiple monitors at home, having things on maybe a couple of different monitors so that if something happens, you have kind of the support and the steps to take right then and there in front of you. During registration, so registration will open at 10 a.m. on registration days for only those students set to register on that day. We just have some helpful reminders. So students should only be using one browser for registration. If students open numerous browsers with our technology, it will actually cause freezes and may cause some tech issues. So we know that sometimes they like to maybe have multiple tabs and they think that maybe one tab will move faster than the other. In this case, that's not a suggestion that we want them to do. We want them to just focus on one browser. As Megan mentioned before, having backup options, we will talk more about this in the videos and the resources that they will get in July as well. And starting at 10 a.m. on registration days, we will be available via Zoom at 10 a.m. So if students are running into trouble, if they have questions, they will be able to click right into a Zoom and be able to talk with a advisor or maybe a support person on campus. That might be someone from the math department if they at that point have questions on their math selection survey or things like that. So we will have additional support available. Registration support will end at 3 p.m. Again, all of these times I'm sharing are in Eastern time. So if you are not located in Bentley's time zone, please make sure that you are doing the calculation to what the time zone will be where you will be located on these days. Registration will end at 3. The support will end at 3. However, students have until 10 a.m. the next morning to continue registration. So a lot of the times we get questions about, well, my student has to work in the morning and they won't be home until 4. What do I do? Well, your student can still register at 4. So they should come home from work, they should jump on, they should register for classes. And then if they need additional follow-up, they can reach out to us and we can help support them from there. But they will have 24 hours to register and make sure that they have a complete schedule. And this last note, complete schedules, but don't adjust. So basically what we want them to do is make sure that they follow kind of the guidelines that we set for them for registering for classes, but they won't really be able to go back in and try and like add and reshuffle things around because it might actually complicate things. And if a student drops a class and someone else picks it up, the student can't be added back into that class. So we'll remind them of that later too. So again, registration closes at 10 a.m. the next day. After registration period is closed, students cannot make any changes to their schedule. They won't be able to do that until Friday, August 30th, when we actually will spend time with students during orientation that day, and we'll be able to guide them in how to make changes to their schedule at that point based on what's available. And again, students will have the opportunity to continue to adjust their schedules on their own through Monday, September 9th. So yes, registration is only a 24-hour period in July, but there are continuous options and support for them moving forward through that first week of classes of the fall 2024 semester. So what happens after registration? If you're asking that question, we have this slide for you. So after registration closes, what happens is all of the advisors in our office actually will review individual students' schedules. So we sit down and go one by one for every student, first year and transfer, and we look at students' schedules. And during that process, what we look for is, are they registered for a full schedule? Are there maybe things that they are missing? Do we need to have the student, do we need to add something for the student? We also look in terms of the layout of a student's schedule. There are some guidelines that we as an office go by because we like to ensure that a student is not trying to put too much academics in one day. So we do have suggestions for how many classes back to back a student should do, or how many classes they should be having in a day, so that when it comes time to midterms, exams, projects, and deadlines, those are spread out and a student is not having to take 4 exams in one day, because that is just not feasible all the time. So after registration closes, we will personally go through all of those individual schedule reviews. Just a note is that Bentley is now in our summer hours. So we only work Monday through Thursday. Our office is only open Monday through Thursday. So going individually each student one by one and making sure we're giving each student's schedules the time and making sure that they are thoroughly reviewed, that can take a little bit of time. So 2 to 3 weeks after registration has concluded, students at that point who may have concerns with their schedule. So like I mentioned, they're missing a class, maybe they have too many classes in a row, they have lots of classes in one day, we will be emailing all of those students. So if your student receives an email in the first few weeks of August prior to them arriving to campus, they should be kind of reading those and following any steps that we may give them. If your student does not receive an email from an advisor, they should not panic. That means that their schedule was good, they followed all the steps, and that the advisor who reviewed their schedule has no concerns. I know sometimes students really like that, just they want to kind of get that gold sticker of like, I did it, where's my email congratulating me that everything's all set. Unfortunately, because we have to make scheduled changes, we want to make sure that students who might need that additional support are getting those emails. So again, if your student doesn't get an email, that's kind of their gold star. They don't have to answer an email and look to take more steps to complete their schedule. Okay, then arrival to campus. So Friday, August 30th is a day of orientation, but part of the day is actually focused on academics. So they will see all of us academic advisors with presentations and other academic related things. So at that point, we will do a drop-in schedule assistance. So as I mentioned earlier, August 30th is when students will be able to adjust their schedules again if needed. So we actually go into a computer lab, also known as the trading room. So it's not really a computer lab, but there's tons of computers there. And we actually are all available to have students come in if they have concerns about their schedule, or if they got an email from an advisor saying, hey, you should come on this day and maybe look at swapping some classes. We will be able to sit with them and walk through, okay, what's available, what can we change, and how do you go about changing it? Then basically they start their first semester here at Bentley. So Megan had mentioned this earlier. We have drop-in advising. It is with our peer advisors, but also during busy periods. So the first couple of weeks of the semester is very busy, right? We have lots of students coming in, lots of questions. So during high traffic times, we not only have peer advisors taking students for drop-ins, but professional advisors will also be available to help with drop-ins so that we can ensure that every student is seen in a reasonable amount of time. Students will have either their Falcon Discovery Seminar or their transfer seminar, and they will be meeting with their peer leader or peer facilitator, depending on which seminar they are in. And then, of course, just because it's, the first couple of weeks, that doesn't mean that we assume that students are just going to spread their wings and everything is going to be fine and dandy. We are here for them for their academics for as long as they are a student at Bentley. So Megan had mentioned earlier, once the fall semester begins, students will be able to schedule appointments with advisors. Typically, sometimes they don't really need us that first semester because it is kind of a little bit programmed, and you'll see more come July. But we have appointments, we have programming, and we continue to be there for them. So if they have any questions that don't pop up in the first week, they can still reach us as the semester and the year continue. Some things that we want to also discuss with you, as you will be a support person for your student starting their journey at Bentley. A couple of things that we want to just remind you, and hopefully have you help us remind your student as well within their first year of academics, specifically at Bentley. So 3 key things that we think set a student up for success. We want them to connect with us. Now, whether that is coming in for a meeting, whether it's coming to drop-ins, whether it's just walking by our office to make sure that they know where we are when they need us. Connect with us on social media. We are on Instagram and we are on Facebook. So maybe they are someone who they don't necessarily have a question or need us in person in that moment, but maybe they follow us on Instagram and they're seeing the updates and the events that we're posting. So they're at least connected with what's happening. Give your student time to adjust to college academics. College academics are very different from high school. And for transfer students, college academics at Bentley may also be very different from academics at your previous institution. So giving your students time to adjust. Have they figured out where maybe their new study space on campus is going to be? Are they getting used to their schedule, right? Because it's not, again, for our first year students, you're not in school from 7:30 to 3 or whatever it is. You have classes kind of spread out throughout the day and throughout the week. So getting adjusted, figuring out kind of your routine. And then also we want them to explore academic opportunities. So we talked about programming that we have earlier, but also departments, academic departments at Bentley also do their own programming as well. So if your student is interested in accounting, the accounting department might be holding a panel. So is your student maybe saying, okay, I'm going to go to this panel so I can learn more about accounting? Or are they going to an event being put on by the, oh my goodness, finance department? Or are we looking at computer information systems? There's so many things. So give your students the time and the space to be able to adjust on their own. And then, of course, continue to be there to support them if any concerns arise. So I know that was a lot of information, but also not a lot at the same time. As Megan said, we really are ensuring that students are getting the information that they need at the time that they need it at. We don't want students or you as support humans to feel overwhelmed, because this process should not be one that is overwhelming. So just know we are here to support them. We are here to help them, guide them through everything. So for now, focus on the orientation things, focus on getting that prior credit submitted, and that writing essay, as well as the math selection survey. Then come July, it's all academics, and we will be showing them a ton of videos and getting them prepared and set up for success for their first registration. Our contact info is down below before we skip over to Q&A. We are located in Jennison 336, so when students arrive on campus in August, they will be able to find us located there. Our email is listed right below that, ga_academic_services@bentley.edu for any questions. If you or your student have questions, we know that you're probably also being told many different emails. Please, please, please make sure that you and or your student are also using the new Falcon question form. If you open that form, one of the options is academics or academic advising. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the exact wording. If you check that box off, any questions you write within that box actually come directly to our email. So don't panic if you forget all these emails. Use that new Falcon question form, and it will immediately be sent to us, and we can answer and respond accordingly. Our Instagram and Facebook are the same username, so very easy to find us. It's at Bentley Advising. We do post a lot. Right now we are kind of quiet because we just ended commencement and now we're getting ready to welcome all of you. So starting shortly, you will see more posts and more engagement. So whether it is you as a support human, if you want to follow those accounts, if you are on those social media platforms, or send it to your students so that you can make sure that they are connected if they are also on those social media platforms. So now I'm going to just stop sharing our screen so we can get our faces back up here, and we will start the Q&A. So if you have questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A. I will just say that if you have a very specific question that is about your student and your students, whether it's credit or your student's math selection survey, we won't be answering individual student information questions here. Those will be things that we want students to either email us or use the new Falcon question form, and we will be able to talk more one-on-one with individual information that way. Okay.
Awesome. So as we transition, I've been kind of monitoring, and there were a couple that were similar and very basic information. So I thought we could start with those. A
Perfect.
couple different people were asking, what's like the standard course load and amount of credits? One person said for a first semester student, first year student. One person said for a business student. It's the same answer. So every Bentley student should be taking 15 credits, 5 courses a semester. The one little caveat to that is there are some seminar experiences throughout time that might kind of feel like a sixth class, but it's not for graduation credit. So an example of that for a first year student is our career development seminars. Those are not things that happen in the first semester, but just so if you hear your student talking about it in November, like, oh, I have to take this career development. It's a sixth class. It's not an academic class. It's like a 6-week long seminar to support them in their career development. And then for transfer students in their first semester, the transfer seminar is a sixth class because it's not an academic class. So it doesn't act like a sixth class. And again, that transfer seminar is only 6 weeks long. And it only meets once a week. So, but for credit-bearing courses, every Bentley student should be in 5 3-credit courses every semester. The math on that is, you owe us 40 courses, divides nicely amongst 8 semesters. And then for transfer students, obviously that math is different depending on what kind of credit they brought in. But essentially, a full-time student is taking 5 courses. You're still full-time at 4 courses and 12 credits, but you're not taking enough credit to earn that degree as quick as you want to. So 5 is the standard load. 5 academic courses is what everyone will be able to take in the fall, regardless of if they're a transfer or a first year. But yeah, I guess what we'll do now is kind of just go from the top down.
Yeah, I can take one just because I saw
Sure.
a couple of questions with similar kind of themes. So I thought we could jump to there. So a couple of questions about when things will be available. And again, Megan, I know that you were just talking about this, but about kind of classes for fall. So we're not going to deep dive into what classes you all will be taking for the fall because that is the information that you're going to learn in July. So I know that you're kind of like, wait, I want to know all of it right now. That's why we're kind of doing this Falcon chat right now to give you the information that you're not behind, you're not missing anything. Just information is going to come later because it is not super urgent. So in terms of kind of what classes you're going to be taking, those are things that you will learn in July. Along with that, when it comes to what classes will be available, so like a course catalog, or students having access to the schedule and classes before registration. So yes, students will be taught everything of how to look things up and how to plan for their schedules and what will be available during July. However, so like right after 4th of July, right, we'll kind of send this information out. Students should not go in first thing and immediately start planning their course schedule. That is something that they should be doing only a couple of days before registration. And then also double checking the morning of their registration that the classes that they want are still available. So it is something that happens a little bit before registration, but it is not something that should be happening 2 to 3 weeks prior to registration, as things are still being finalized on our end in terms of seat numbers sometimes for classes. So we don't want students, again, being set in one schedule when things could still be changing within those last couple of weeks prior to registration. So students will be able to get what's available prior, but they shouldn't be making any, set in stone schedules and things before registration day.
Awesome. I'm going to go back to one of the earlier questions about how AP scores aren't released yet, and how does that play with the math selection survey. So everyone should still do the math selection survey, even if they expect to bring in prior credit. The math selection survey is used by the office to determine if you need to take math, what math you've chosen. So even if you're pretty sure you're gonna have AP credit for that math, just do the survey just in case, right? It's a just in case. The selection survey is information about what math your student would want if they are placed in math in the fall. So of course, we're not going to place them in math in the fall if the AP credit comes in, but the selection tool has to happen now. The AP credit happens later. So timing is just not on our side. So yeah, the math selection is not a student saying, I'm taking this class in the fall. It's, if we place you in a math, what math do you want to be placed in? So that's a great question. Thank you.
Yeah. Megan, there's also, speaking of the math selection survey, transfer students. Does the math selection survey also apply to them?
Oh, that's a great question. Someone had asked us about the EMS placement, so I'll lump both in just in case. So as a transfer student, you're submitting, credit from at least one other institution. Maybe you're also submitting prior AP, IB, prior to college credit, right? You've got to send us all of that. We can't take the prior credit from before college from your current college transcript. That's a no-go. We need original stuff from everywhere. You got to go back and get all the originals. So if like, I got AP English credit at my last school, I don't know if I'm getting it here. That's a great question. Ask admission. You can tell them, this is the AP credit I'm sending you. I'm so sorry it's not there yet. But do I have to take the English placement? They can help answer because they're looking at the credit you have rolling in. They can help you figure out, like, do this or don't do this. So the same thing with math. Like, if like, I took Calc 1 at my old school and I got a B. Very safe to say, no, you don't need to do the math selection. If you took some other different kind of math, shrugs, right? You might, that math might come to Bentley as a math requirement. It might not. So I think the math selection tool is fast. I would say do that. If you're unsure if you should do it, do it. I understand if you don't want to write an essay, if you don't need to write an essay, But the math selection tool is super quick, super easy. And it's basically just asking you, like, what math have you taken? How did you do? How do you feel about math? It's very like a quick survey. But
Mhm.
if you don't want to write the writing placement essay, unless you absolutely have to, you would need to work with admission to figure out, am I getting credit for this or do I need to take it at Bentley? Because if you are a transfer student that is not getting credit for math or you're not getting credit for English, you do need to take them right away. So,
Mhm.
um, working with admission, working with your prior credit, um, they're typically super knowledgeable and they will be able to answer your questions. If they're not sure, they're going to check with me, and then I'm gonna tell them. I'll reinforce for them what they need to tell you. I work really closely with the transfer process, so um, if you're not sure, check with admission.
Mhm.
You can't check with us because we don't have your stuff yet. They
Mhm.
won't give us your stuff for a while. So admission is the point of contact for all transfer credit stuff and all like, do I need to do this placement thing or not?
Yep. Going ar with the same theme, just a couple of questions that I see coming in, again, similar topics. So, to continue the conversation about AP credit, or anything like that. So, a couple of questions we got is in terms of how long does it take the admission office to review? Again, that is through the admissions office, and they are kind of reviewing things like on a rolling basis. So I would say if you've already sent something in and you haven't heard anything, don't panic. Again, we just had commencement a couple of weeks ago, and the admissions office is like now kind of slowly turning over to getting you all set for the transition kind of from their office, more into orientation and then to us in July. So I would be patient a little bit. But if you have questions about if they received your transcripts or if they received your IB or your AP credit, again, emailing them, contacting them. As Megan said, we unfortunately do not have access to any of that information, so we can't answer that for you. So it would be something that you need to connect with the admissions office about. Same thing if you are taking a college level course this summer and you want to see if it would be able to be transferred to Bentley, admissions is going to be the ones that will be able to give you that information. In terms of where a class sits in your like Bentley requirements, we will go over that with you all in July through videos and things like that as well. And then we also had a question about AP classes fitting into the 15 credits and 5 courses. So if you are bringing in any kind of previous credit, it does not mean that you get to take less than 5 classes in your first semester. You will be taking 5, or again, transfer students, technically 6 because of that transfer seminar. You will be in 5 3 credit courses in fall semester, regardless of if or how much previous credit you were transferring in. So that does not necessarily change the number of classes you'll be taking in the fall. It may just change the types of classes you'll be taking. And again, we speak to all of that in our videos in July. And then another theme that I saw is that we have some questions about students who are looking at maybe they are going to be a part of different student populations. So athletes, or maybe you're a student who was accepted to the honors program. So, in terms of anything honors related, you will get more information directly from the honors program and specific information for you as an honors student in July through our videos and website resources. In addition, there's also a question about athletes. So, athletes, right? A different student population. We will be helping you work with your practice and game schedule that your coaches set for you. So, again, you will have access to that, and you will also be responsible for making sure that you are not selecting a class that is during practice time if there is another class at a different time available that fits with your schedule. So again, some of that is through the review process, but we will support all of you and make sure through the review process that based on what student populations you're in and what credit you received, you are registered for the right classes for the fall.
I did just want to piggyback off of the honors. There's a question in there about what if I'm interested in the honors program. So I did just want to clarify, being accepted into the honors program is through the admission process. So if you are not currently in the honors program through the admission process, if you haven't been offered and accepted a spot in the honors program, you would not be able to take honors courses in your first semester. There is a process where you could try to apply to the honors program, but that would be at the end of your first semester. So the honors program courses are only available to honors program students. And then another couple questions I saw in there. I love how people are thinking long term. There's some questions in there about master's programs in grad school. Those are not going to be things we talk about with students this summer. Whether you're first year or transfer students, those are all conversations for the fall. That's part of your information gathering in the fall when you're learning about all the academic opportunities available to you. If you're interested in one of our master's programs, there will be information sessions for you to attend in the fall. There will not be discussion about that this summer. We've got to onboard you to the undergraduate experience this summer. And, I would even say in the first 6 to 8 weeks of your first semester at Bentley, let's table those conversations about master's programs. There is nothing you can or cannot take in the first semester here at Bentley that's going to either open up an opportunity to you or close an opportunity to you. The one exception might be a transfer student that's coming in as a junior, and you will have access to your academic advisor in the first week of class, and you can put that on their radar that that's something you want to talk about sooner rather than later. But a first year student, that's going to be here 4 years, 3.5 years, that is not a conversation for the summer. That is not even a conversation for the fall term. So please support people, help us reinforce that message. Let's just adjust to college first. Let's adjust to Bentley. Let's adjust to being an undergraduate student at Bentley. And then let's shift our focus at some point and think about, if I'm interested in a master's program, what might that be?
Yes, we love the excitement, but welcome to Bentley. Let's hang out first before we deep dive into other exciting opportunities. So it looks like as of right now, we have answered all of the questions that are in the Q&A. And Caroline, I see your lovely face, so I know we're like almost out of time. But if anyone else has any last minute questions or things, please feel free to put them in the Q&A, or again, you can email us, use the new Falcon question form, or find us on Facebook and or Instagram, depending on what social platform you're on, because we will post resources and more things to come.
Thank you, Mel and Megan, for taking the time to talk a little bit more about academics at Bentley. As they mentioned a few times, the new Falcon question form is really a great resource for both you and your students, as questions may come up throughout the entire summer. We do have a few events that I wanted to highlight that will be taking place tomorrow. So we do have another segment of Deposited Now What. So if you were unable to attend our first session, make sure that you attend tomorrow. That will happen at 7 p.m. And then we do have a new Falcon event with the residential center. So they're going to talk a little bit about what living on campus is like. You'll be able to connect with a few of our different staff members while also connecting with other students. So that is for our students. And then the Deposited Now What is for our family members. You can register for both of those events through Bentley Connect and the new Falcon Connects form, which are also linked on our Welcome Falcons Instagram. So we hope that you are able to gather some information through this live chat and you'll join us throughout the rest of the summer. And I hope that you have a great week. Bye.